There we go. Good evening, everybody. It's Alex with you in the Fox City 4 Digital Weather Center for another edition of Weather Aware Live. You know, we're tracking showers, we're tracking some thunderstorms. A lot of this rain's about to move out, at least for the near term. We'll see more off and on showers into your Wednesday, but hope you're having a good start to your evening. Good evening, everybody. It's Alex with you in the Fox City 4 Digital Weather Center once again. For another edition of Weather Aware Live tonight. So I'm going to be monitoring your comments. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. You know, we have some room for that now, especially considering we have a break in the rain. We're not seeing too much of it tonight, but tomorrow we'll see some more, and then rain chances will be with us for many of the next 7 days, but it's going to look a little bit different. So if you've been enjoying this cooler weather, let us know about that as well. And again, I'm going to be looking at your comments, seeing what we can pick up here. And any questions about the forecast that you might have, let us know about those. And we'll be here on Weather Aware Live tracking the whole thing. So there we are. And I'm going to go ahead and start viewing those here on Facebook. All right, so let's get into the weather forecast real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pop us back up to where you can see Doppler radar. There it is. Most of the rain in the CSRA is done. Not seeing too much of it tonight. That's actually a good thing because just a couple hours ago, as we were with you on Fox City 4 News at 5 and Fox City 4 News at 6:30, that was a different story. So scattered showers are now mainly down towards I-95. That's where we actually have a flood advisory this evening. You see that there. This flood advisory goes until 8:45 tonight. And anybody who's traveling on 95, which this time of year is one of the busiest interstates in the entire country, they're dealing with some flooding. They have seen, anywhere from up to about 2 to 2.5 inches of rainfall here. So definitely one of those situations where the coast piles up. You get that East Coast sea breeze. But you see most of the area tonight, I'm not seeing too much. Now, here's where we're watching the most of. And this is the flood warning that we were talking about on Fox City 4 News at 5 and 6:30. It is in Edgefield, McCormick, and the far eastern edge of Columbia County. This is mainly for Stevens Creek near Modoc. And the actual river is cresting here in just the next 10 minutes, up to 34.5 feet, which for that river, or that section of the creek, is at major flood stage almost. It's near it. It's not at it. But regardless, there's going to be some ponded roadways nearby. The River Hill subdivision tends to get flooded in these scenarios, amongst other roadways, some farmland as well. So just a heads up, if you're driving anywhere in the direction of Clarksville Lake, Modoc, Parksville, or northeastern Columbia or eastern Columbia County tonight, just be careful out there as we are seeing some of those ponded roadways. So the river is cresting. It is actually hitting 34.5 feet right about now, and then it's pushing down below flood stage for the rest of the night. You see that latest 22. That's actually from earlier this evening, but we are seeing the river cresting at about 34.5 feet right now, and then it pushes down. So that flood warning probably going to expire closer to, say, give or take, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Let's dive into your Wednesday real quick before we show you the overall pattern. Tomorrow, it doesn't break too much. We're going to see more clouds, cooler highs in the low 80s, and more off and on scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. Because south of I-20, you saw it maybe today. We actually did get some rainfall totals that were pretty sizable, and it's all thanks to what we were seeing back towards Allendale, Bamberg, Sylvania, those communities. And looking at, your comments here, I'm just going to be checking those periodically throughout the evening as well. But all that to say, it has been a pretty eventful weather week, that's for sure. Saturday and Sunday, those were more so just cloudy, cooler days. We didn't see a whole lot of rain Saturday, but we did on Sunday, we did yesterday, and we did today. And so when you piled all that up, which we'll look at those rainfall totals in just a second, very sizable amounts, we'll take it. We will most definitely take it. In fact, let's go ahead and show you some of those. Very curious to see what y'all's reaction will be to this rainfall. And keep in mind, this is not going to be since yesterday. I'm actually going to tweak it to where it's since Friday morning, because that'll be the best gauge. I'm going to do August 1st. So far in the month of August, kind of what we've seen and kind of how that looks. I'm going to do 3 a.m. because we weren't seeing any rain then. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to edit it so you guys can actually see it a little bit better. But you see the broad view. Again, this is not since yesterday. This is since August 1st. The drought monitor is going to be very fruitful for us in a good way. It's actually going to be deteriorating. I think we would bust it out of the drought clearly in Edgefield and McCormick County. All it takes is one good soaking rain. I'm going to do since last Friday morning there so you can see that a little better. There you go. And, now we can get a better look at this. North of I-20 has been the hot spot for the rain. It's no doubt about it. We have seen in upwards of 8 inches of rain in parts of Edgefield, McCormick, and southern Lincoln County, south of Highway 378. Look at that. 9.9 inches of rain in southeastern Lincoln County. This is radar estimate. We're going to give you some more official totals tomorrow once the rain begins to settle down a little bit. 9.9 inches of rain in just the past 4 to 5 days. That's pretty remarkable. You're looking at a big shift from where we were just a little bit ago. And that is definitely something that we like to see, especially this time of year, that's for sure. But if you're watching us, good evening. This is Weather Aware Live. We're giving you a live update of kind of what we're talking about when it comes to the rest of the week's forecast, what we've seen so far, and again, just keeping you posted with all the latest weather updates here. Good evening, Lori. Thank you as well. Checking both pages here, potential comments, and just see what y'all might have to say. Again, there we go. And all right, so we got some people in here on the Fox page as well. Okay, so let's get into the tropics here. Let's get into the tropics. The setup's going to be the same setup that we deal with for much of the next 7 days. I don't see any threats to the two-state, Georgia or South Carolina, in the next little bit. Let's show you what's happening, though, out there in the Atlantic Basin. This is Tropical Storm Dexter. It is moving away from the United States. It's moving to the northeast at 13 miles an hour. 13 miles an hour. Pretty slow, if you ask me. That's pushing more so, again, east-northeast. Not a lot to it. It's going to become a little bit of a stronger storm by Thursday, and then it quickly weakens past that point. So there's nothing to Dexter, point blank. Now, here's where the tropics begin to get a little interesting, okay? This area of low pressure, and the satellite here is glitching a little bit, right off of the coast of Africa. That's the one that we'll have to watch in the days ahead. That one has a 50% chance of becoming Tropical Storm Aaron. Aaron's the next name on the list, and then it's Fernand. And I know, that sounds weird. It's spelled Fernand. It's actually Fernand. And those two could be off the board after the middle part of August because the tropics are heating up. You see all the thunderstorm activity back towards the Atlantic Basin. You see it there. I'm going to circle this. Whenever you see more organized thunderstorm activity in the basin, that's when you begin to see a little bit more signs of life in the tropics. Now let's take you to the next area. Okay, so this next area is a little closer to home. You see the orange X, if you will. This is a 40% chance of tropical development in the next 7 days. This also has a chance to become Tropical Storm Aaron. Now, again, I don't think this is going to become that. The area that's off the coast of Africa is going to be a lot more impressive than this one. This is along a stalled front, this area low pressure is, and it's going to move to the north. It's not necessarily moving to the east. And you'll see that here. This is the setup that we've been talking about. Yeah, here it is. And there's that area low pressure, okay? That's the one that's holding this stalled front, kind of like a dog on a leash, and it's just keeping it there. And that's why our rain chances are staying put. So as long as that low is sandwiched between that and the high to the north, we're going to be blocked into rain chances for a little bit. Now, the rain chances won't be nearly as widespread as what they've been the past couple of days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's more of a spotty rain coming in and warmer temperatures. But the steady rain is happening tonight, later on in the overnight hours, and for your Wednesday as well. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go. And you look at the rest of through Thursday, And you see that there. Through Thursday, we're expecting isolated totals up to about a half an inch to an inch and a half. And if I edit this to take it into Friday at 2 o'clock, you'll see an even potentially larger picture for rain. Not too much of a difference. I mean, look at that. This is Friday, and we're not seeing a whole lot. And that's a good thing because at this point, we'll need to kind of subside with the tropics and everything of that nature. So now let's show you this. So this is areas to watch in the Atlantic Basin. This is from the Climate Prediction Center. When you see the reds and the darker reds, that essentially means we're just looking out for a few places that could pick up the tropical activity in the middle of August. So this is for the 13th. We're about 8 days away from that. So next Wednesday through a couple weeks from now, through a couple Tuesdays. The Atlantic Basin's going to get more active, inevitably. We talked about this on WFXG.com in our Tracking the Tropics article. A new edition will be coming out later this week, kind of detailing what we're watching in the tropics. But a more active Atlantic Basin, that's expected. There's no doubt about that. Sea surface temperatures are in the 80s, and when you see the 80s out there, that's plenty supportive for what is going to be some warm water, rising air, and thunderstorm development. So the sea surface temperatures check the box. It's just a matter of the wind shear letting go, and the wind shear is going to let go later this month. And so with that said, we are anticipating for the tropics to heat back up a little bit. We're in the low to mid 80s the next several days. Temperature is going to stay well below average for this time of year until about early next week. And I think those average temperatures will pick up closer to those in the low 90s early next week. But hit or miss showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday, I even think the rain coverage backs off a little bit tomorrow, and then it backs off even more Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So overall, the wettest of the weather is behind us. Here's a closer look at your Wednesday, though, if you're wondering. Tomorrow morning, off and on, light showers are very possible. Be careful on the roads because you're going to deal with some rain, low clouds, all that good stuff. And tomorrow afternoon, again, we'll probably start to dry out a pretty good bit in the second half of the day. Looks like opportunities for rain will be a little bit less, or will be a little bit harder to come by once we get to Thursday through the weekend. So Wednesday, not the most rain, but we're still going to see more pockets of it, and the cooler, cloudy pattern just persists on. We don't fully break out of this for quite a while, y'all. I mean, we might not hit 90 degrees for 10 straight days. This will be one of our cooler Augusts that we could see if we continue down this path, because starting August 1st, which was our hottest day, we haven't seen a 90-degree day yet. And tomorrow will be no different. Neither will the rest of the week or weekend. So we'll have to see about next week. But in the meantime, enjoy some cooler weather and enjoy those rain chances, which are much needed. You know, by the time the newest drought monitor gets here, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot on it. And we'll give you that quick update. This is what it looked like, a little abnormally dry. Look at all those places, okay? So you see those places that were in the yellow, and then watch what happens when you put the rainfall map up. Those are the exact spots that have gotten a plentiful rain. Much needed, and we're always happy to see that. So I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Weather Aware Live. Again, the tropics are heating up. It's nothing to panic about. That's the big thing with this forecast. It's nothing to panic over. It's just something to keep you aware of as we head into the middle of this August. And, of course, right now we've got some cooler, tranquil weather, and we will take that all day long and twice on Sunday. All right, so this has been another edition of Weather Aware Live. Hope you all have enjoyed it. And, again, thank you guys for tuning in once again to Weather Aware Live. We hope you have a safe evening. And stay safe out there with those ponded roadways, some of those heavy rains that'll be moving in at times tomorrow. We'll keep you posted with the very latest. And once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tonight coming up at 10 o'clock on Fox 54 News at 10.